Com and the director of the Austin After Dark Films Festival Summer 2022, which will be coming up on Sunday, July the 17th. And we are excited to have screenwriter Emil Faithe with us today. How you doing, Emil?
Hey, great to see you, Michael.
We are really excited to talk to you about your screenplay, GMO. I'm going to show a picture of it right now on screen. And GMO has been nominated for the Best Dark Science Fiction screenplay. It's an award finalist at the festival, and really a great read. Pretty deep story, and I would really like it if you would describe to people the synopsis. Maybe just describe to people the story behind this without me giving away the punchline. So
sure, I'll be careful not to do the same thing. Actually, it's the year 2067, and our planet is collapsing. Hopefully, we make it that far, but 2067, and we find out that all of a sudden people are dropping dead, and we don't know why. People are leaving the planet. There are kind of calamities occurring. There's water flow. There's all the locusts, the frogs, all that stuff is starting to happen, and people can't figure out why. No one can figure out why people are dropping dead. It turns out, though, that there is a reason. All of a sudden, the human genome is collapsing, but we don't know who's doing it, and we don't know how it's being done. All we know is we got to find the answer, and that's where Liam Whitman, a retired or beaten down geneticist with some special gifts, comes in, and he along with his amorous partner Mansfield will team up to find out what the source of the issue is, what's going on, who's doing it, and better, most importantly, how do we stop it? Do we get a second chance? Does the planet get another do-over? In my opinion, we've had a lot of do-overs on this planet, and that's kind of what motivated me to take a look at this and figure out how we're going to show the folks, let people see that we do have an opportunity to save ourselves from ourselves. So that's how this goes on. We end up taking Liam Whitman, Liam and Mansfield, end up finding out that the secret to all of this lies with Liam's father, who is a genius healer and energetic know-it-all, basically the Nostradamus of our era, who has the answers as to who, what, and why. So the journey is to find him. He's been put away in hiding to save himself so that he can live. Because the planet, they're coming after him. The people that don't want to save the planet want him out of the picture. And Liam and Mansfield will have none of that. So we learn about that. And the cool thing is, if I may, it's a very cool look at the shocking truth about what he finds out as far as the God plan, the pearly gates, and a whole lot more about the human existence.
This one goes deep, brother. I think that's why we like your writing. It's so in depth. In many ways, it has the depth of a novel, and it's really, really well laid out in this story.
Thank you.
So, let's get into why you developed it. I mean, it's a very good synopsis. We understand kind of what's going on, but let's get into what motivated you to write this very specific story.
That's a good question, and the answer is because I feel like, as many of us do, I'm one of the characters. I'm Liam. I'm the guy who's not from here, who is the sensitive, who has special gifts, that has a unique understanding of the big picture. So I felt like, hey, this is about me. What would I do? How would I go about dealing with these unique and gifted people on the planet? What I call the sensitives. Well, it's something that I work in my other career. I work with the ultra sensitive, the sensitive empathic people of the planet. Those who don't seem to fit in, those meek ones, the nerdy types, the misfits, the outcasts. That's me. So it was really easy to plug into Liam and decide that he would be the guy to help save the planet and give it a chance, give it an opportunity to do that do-over. That is how this character came to be and how the story came to be. And it just basically, as it does for many writers, it just fell out of me. I'd be asleep, the story would come in, the scenes would come in, the characters would come in, and it all came together, just like I wanted it. And I think as a point for those who are writing now, who want to write, it's all about the story, how you tell the story, and to tell it authentically, genuinely, and not be so concerned about what other people will think about it. There are a lot of people who think about a lot of things, but they may not understand you or the story. We can talk more about that later, but it just basically came out of me. I'm Liam. Mansfield is a character, a composite character of people that I know who are rambunctious and some of their characteristics that she has as a rambunctious, introverted Wattsmith and brainiac who knows a little too much for her own good, but really has the connection with Seth, who is Liam's father, the one with the answers. She has a connection with him and knows how to find him.
Excellent. Well, what got you writing in the first place? And I don't mean just writing in general, but writing for picture. Writing something that you intend to be turned into a piece of visual content in the form of a series or a film. What got you started into writing?
Well, to be real honest with you, Michael, I started out as a comedy writer. I wrote shtick as a kid. I would write little scripts and I would do stand-up routines, write my own. And for my son, he did some stand-up work. And then I entered one of your contests with that material that had been around with, I had been flirting with that since the 80s when I was writing spec sitcoms for shows that most people probably don't remember, but Home Improvement, Step by Step, and so on. But I was really into comedy. So comedy is my thing. And when I get into the more serious material, which I did not expect to do, I thought I'm going to be writing comedy features. I'm not really writing a comedy feature, but I do instill, my comedic tone into the material and the characters where it's appropriate. But I started out writing comedy, sitcoms. And then one day, I guess I awakened to the fact that, hey, there's some cool planetary stuff going on here, and I'm going to write about that. I'm going to write about the spaceships. I'm going to write about the cosmos, and I'm going to be part of this because this excites me. I want to be in the film myself. I would say that was the driving force to get into the sci-fi stuff, which is what I'm doing now.
Excellent. So what are you working on in the future?
Well, there's a project I'm working on that is somewhat along this line. It's just a whole different idea, a whole different script. I'm not going to give the title away because I think it's going to be not just a working title, but the final. So I don't want to give that away. But basically, it's about creating justice on the planet for those people who did not learn their lessons in the worldly rules. There'll be another way for individuals to be parented and to be taught and to change them in a beneficial way so we can save this beautiful rock that we all call home.
I noticed that you have this whole philosophy of looking at Earth from an outside the gravity well type of view, that you look at all of us as like this planet, this holistic organism, like the bigger picture. I see a mixture of some spiritual things and some scientific things at the same time, and the merger of science and faith, for lack of a better word, no pun intended.
Unintended.
But am I right about that? Am I, in detecting that type of theme in your writing?
Absolutely. I want to be the one that opens people's minds. This screenplay, the GMO, you're going to be thinking twice about a few things when it's done. There are some maybe not mind-boggling, but some mind-opening ideas that will may jar you or may make you think, will hopefully make you think about your existence, our existence, and our existence together. So yes, absolutely, spiritually, holistically, I do work in a holistic realm professionally, but there's a lot more to our lives than we see and that we know, and that is being broadcast on the local news. So it goes a lot deeper, and I try to be careful how I weave that in, because for some people it's a big opening they're not ready for, and that's fine. But I just push it in there, and I'll weave it into some of the material that I write about. Yeah, I would agree with you. Holistic minded and definitely spiritually minded. Here to make a difference on the planet. That's really what I'm about. Really, we all are here to make a difference on this planet, and we have our own mediums of doing it. This just happens to be the written or visual media eventually that helps get that accomplished.
I noticed that during the social distancing, the COVID lockdowns, and all those things, and just that time period, I got some of the most well-written and best screenplays I've ever had, because people finally had an opportunity to spend time writing without too much time alone. In your opinion, did your writing change at all during that time, or maybe did you change directions on what you're writing about?
I would say a little bit of both, Michael. I would say I became a little more uninhibited about what I'm going to say. I started out being very careful. Well, can I really say this? Can this really hit the screen? And you start watching what's on TV and what's in the movie theaters. You're like, oh yeah. So I started becoming more bold, and I would I'd come out with some of in GMO. There's some theories in there that, but that I think it's completely open. I think more people are more tolerant now to new ideas, opening, to disclosure, if you will, to learning the more of the truth about what this life's about, and what our perhaps even our afterlife is about, and so forth. So yeah, I would say that I got more bold. I became more bold. I wasn't afraid to say things that I probably wouldn't have brought in, features, wouldn't have been, I would have changed the aggressiveness of some of the characters. So yeah, it did change the way I looked at things.
Well, this has been a pleasure. The judges really respect your writing. You, not only this screenplay from the Austin After Dark crew, but the Austin Comedy Short Film Festival is what we used to call it years ago, and you're an alum from that festival as well, which is a different group of judges and a different time. But over the years, your work has really translated well to our festivals, and you're just doing great on the circuit. So whatever you're doing, keep on doing it, because people enjoy the formula, and people are very impressed by your writing.
I appreciate that. I want to thank all the judges and everyone and yourself who's involved in this high class, highly integritous film festival. The whole thing that you're doing is done with extreme integrity and authenticity, unmatched by really most any other screenwriting contest I've ever been in, and I've been in a few. So,
well, thank you for the kind words.
Kudos to you and the crew, and to Caleb as well. Send regards.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, and again, I appreciate your time today, and have a good one.